Yo, start out with a bang. When you go live, sometimes there's this counters 10, 9, 8, but what we want action right away. You go to a movie theater and all that warm-up stuff, they torture you with all that stuff. But if you just walked in and you were on time, it was just boom, action right away, you'd be excited. So let's get to the action. Here is the question. What in the world, or what the blank, do you create for content on LinkedIn? This is where I see the vast majority of everyone getting it wrong. And the reality is if you're paying someone else to create your content, then you're likely going to be producing average results. So let's dissect. That's a big statement. Let's dissect that statement, and we're going to connect the dots. This popcorn laying down in the street, we're going to follow the dots so you know why I said that, and then you'll have a better idea of what to do. So when we're on LinkedIn, we want to be able to add value to the people that are viewing us. Like right now, you're spending a minute or 2 or 5 or 10 minutes with me. I appreciate the time. It's your life. So my point is that I want to make sure that you get one nugget that you can use or think about or change the way you think about things. So you said that was worth it. If you spend time with me and you're like, that was a blah, then if I do that enough times, you won't spend any time with me. So number one is we want people to be connected to us, and we want them to continue to be connected with us. We want to build a growing tribe of followers that we can help and give and share and communicate. So we need to add value. So how do you sit in that pot of gold, that adding value pot of gold? Well, let's break down what the potentialities are. One is you're posting promotional stuff. Now, there's a big difference between LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Instagram and Facebook are vanity social media platforms. So it's great to share, oh, look at me, standing in front of my mansion, standing in front of my rented car. Because that stuff, I don't know why, people are attracted to that, just like they're attracted to movie stars and celebrities. Me, I could give 2 shits about celebrities. They're doing a good job, and athletes doing a good job. So I'm doing a good job. So why do I have to look up to them? They're acting. That's a tough profession. I'll take that. That's for sure. An athlete, a professional athlete, ultra tough profession. But I don't need, I'm not going to look up to them. I'm just going to acknowledge that they're good. They're really good at their job. So let's make one point clear that LinkedIn is not a vanity platform. LinkedIn is a content platform for good content, business content. It's also good to add stuff about your personal life as well. So people, when they're looking and learning from you, get to know you. That's critically important. But it's not a place to go share any of your vanity stuff. So that's number one. That will repel people on LinkedIn. So let's talk about what not to do. That's not to do. Now, the thing that you also don't want to do is be in the mode of self-promotion. You don't want to always just share your podcast because you're just using LinkedIn as a platform to just promote what you're doing. And while that's fine because you can do it, there's nothing against it, you're just not going to be effective at utilizing what LinkedIn really can do for you, which is LinkedIn can actually grow your business, build your brand, create amazing relationships, strategic partnerships that you never even dreamed of. But if you're sitting there just promoting your podcast, no one's going to care. Just like if you're promoting a talk that you're on or a show that you're on. Now, I'm speaking in absolutes. So once in a while, that's fine. But we got to go back to that pot of gold of are you adding value? Which leads us to this next sort of scenario where you're actually hiring somebody to do your content. Now, if you were going to say, I'm hiring a $150 or $250 or $80 a person expert content creator, writer that actually knows my industry and I've done business with them and they're going to help me create content, thumbs up. I think you'll come up with some good content to add value. But if you're using services that are spinning content, I'm basically talking about something that I know from the blog industry, right? So people know that it's great to blog. HubSpot created what they call inbound. It's all about quality blogs, where if someone reads the blog, they're going to get something out of it. That's adding value. But there's an entire another world of blogging, and it's called spinning blog articles, where you can get someone for 10 or 20 bucks to create a 300 or 500 word blog article, and you've read them. It's like blah, 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 blah. It is 500 words. It has keywords in there, but I look at it and I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I ever read because it's talking out of both sides of the mouth and it really doesn't say anything and I learned nothing. So that happens in the blog world. And the blog world is much more mature than the LinkedIn content world. So the point is that we already know what works and what doesn't. If you are going to create quality and use LinkedIn's kind of strategy for outbound, for content marketing, you'll create inbound and you will grow rapidly. That's why they're a $1 billion plus company and enterprise companies use them. Now, when we shift to LinkedIn, same thing. If you're paying someone that's just going to give quotes or general comments or general stuff as your posts on LinkedIn, then if 10 people in your industry ended up on your LinkedIn and looked at your last 10 posts and they were very general, basically talking out both sides of the mouth, not really adding any content or any smart ideas, would they continue to come back to you? So while it might be effective to get some mechanical numbers up, more views and this and that, because you're active, you're consistent, the answer always comes back to what is going to be the result of the activity you're taking. And I will put a stake in the sand and saying that you should be creating your own content on LinkedIn, because who better to create it than you? Unless you have partners or someone very senior that can create it with you. Because you want to be able to stand in a place in your 1 or 2 minutes. Now, I'm longer. I'm going on LinkedIn Live, so I have the opportunity to go longer and go do a little deeper. But if you look at some of the posts that I do, they're 1 or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but I'm teaching. And that's really the key. The concept you want to focus on, and I'm going to say a curse word, so if you don't want to hear it, put your mufflers on. The only thing that you want someone to say when they come to your post or onto your LinkedIn profile and look at what you're doing is, wow, he or she knows their shit. That person knows their shit. In order to earn that acknowledgement, then you've got to lay down quality content. You've got to forego outside services posting. Tony Robbins, I think, is great. My former business partner, John Assaraf, is great. These are thought leaders. They do great things around the world. But if I'm posting their quotes about, determination and overcoming obstacles, what do I have to do with that? Other than the fact that, I run an online education company, and I have my own personal obstacles, and we do a LinkedIn service, and I have obstacles. But why would Mike Weiss be continually sharing, hard work is the key to to success? Overcoming obstacles is important. Am I in the personal development business? No. And people coming to me to hear me talk about personal development? No. So this is where I call this the big disconnect. It's a big disconnect because there are many services out there, and we know LinkedIn is hot. But are you really going to create what I consider to be the gold mine? And the pot of gold in LinkedIn is that adding value. It's not what you get, it's what you give, continually being consistent and in training and really helping people learn, grow, and shift mindset. Or if you're doing that, then you will excel in LinkedIn. If you're doing other things, it's time to look about my strategy and say, hey, can I be more strategic? That's the question. Can I add more value? Will it take your personal time to step into that role? Sure, but you can actually get to the point where in 10 minutes, you can do a 2-minute video, boom, done. It's 150 words you can put in a post, done. So you can get there rather quickly. And it takes a little practice perhaps to be able to kind of knock those things off. And there's strategies to do that better. But I challenge you to step up and add value. Don't add noise. The world doesn't need more information. They don't. All the information's already out there. We don't need more Tony Robbins quotes, or for any matter, we don't need, but what do we need those quotes for? Right? Like let the personal development people give personal development quotes. Like I said, once in a while, it's good to share a story. I had a really difficult time last week because I couldn't do work-life balance. And I did a big launch last week, and we created a LinkedIn boot camp, 30-day boot camp. And yeah, I felt really unhappy with myself because I knew I had to get it done because the timeline was tight. But I actually wasn't that present as I normally am for my wife and my family. And yeah, I think there's times where you have to step in and you got to do whatever it takes. So that's an example of a share. But you're learning about me and something particular to what I overcame or I'm addressing or thinking about in relationship to my business. So there's times for that. There's times for you to open up and share something that's not specifically related to business. And it's important once or twice a month to do something like that so people get to know you. But sharing personal development quotes, don't think it's going to cut the mustard. Have an amazing day. See you soon. And if you disagree with me, put it in the comments below. Please. If you agree with me, put it in the comments below. The great thing about LinkedIn is there's super smart people like you. We can start a conversation and a dialogue and learn. That's what it's all about. Have an amazing day. Thanks.